Welcome the rare gems. You might think you've got people all figured out, but when it comes to a Sigma female, well, let's just say you're in for a surprise. She's not the one waving around her smarts like a neon sign. Oh no, she's way too clever for that. Her intelligence is like Wi-Fi, invisible but incredibly powerful, and if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it entirely. She's the type who can be sitting quietly in a room and before you know it, she's 5 steps ahead of everyone, quietly calculating, observing, and planning her next move while you're still deciding what to have for lunch. And let's be clear, this isn't about IQ tests or being the loudest voice in the room. The Sigma female's intelligence operates on another level. It's subtle, strategic, and honestly, a bit unsettling. While you're busy thinking she's just chill, she's probably already figured out the outcome of the situation, and maybe even yours. But don't worry, she won't rub it in. She's not here to flex her brain power. She's here to move smart, not loud. So buckle up. If you think you know her, there's a good chance she's a lot smarter than you realize. And she won't tell you that, but I will. Let's get started. Rare gems. I recommend watching the entire video for a better insight into the topic, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Number 1. She knows intelligence is more about wisdom than knowledge. A Sigma female gets it. Intelligence isn't just about memorizing facts or boasting about her latest trivia win. While some people parade their knowledge like a shiny trophy, she understands the real treasure lies in wisdom, the kind you actually use in everyday life. It's like the difference between owning a cookbook and actually knowing how to cook. She's not interested in impressing others with her ability to rattle off statistics. Instead, she's more focused on how to apply what she learns in ways that actually matter. Imagine someone proudly declaring they know every fact about the Eiffel Tower, but can't navigate their way through a simple dinner party. Meanwhile, she's the one who knows how to make conversation flow, connect with people, and create an enjoyable atmosphere, all without mentioning her impressive trivia skills. For her, it's not enough to just have information. It's about knowing how to use it to make life richer and more meaningful. Her wisdom shines in those everyday moments when others are scrambling to find the right answer, and she's calmly piecing together the bigger picture. She can read a room, sense unspoken feelings, and navigate complex social dynamics with ease. So while some are busy trying to win the title of smartest person in the room, she's out there living her life, using her understanding of people and situations to create connections and find solutions that make a real difference. In her book, that's the ultimate form of intelligence. Number 2, she doesn't need to prove you wrong, she lets time do it. A Sigma female has mastered the art of patience, especially when it comes to the joys of being right. While some folks feel the need to jump into a debate, determined to prove their point, she knows that arguing is often just a waste of energy, like trying to convince a cat to take a bath. Instead of getting wrapped up in pointless arguments, she takes a step back and lets time do the heavy lifting. Why engage in a battle of wits when she can simply let reality unfold? She's perfectly content to let others wallow in their ignorance. After all, she understands that time is a brilliant teacher, and reality has a way of revealing the truth without her needing to intervene. While someone might insist that they know better, she'll quietly smile, knowing that eventually the facts will emerge, and they'll be left standing there with egg on their face. It's not about getting immediate recognition for her wisdom. She doesn't need a pat on the back or a trophy for being right. Her satisfaction comes from watching the situation play out as she anticipated. She knows that true intelligence often lies in restraint. So, while others argue and fuss, she sips her coffee, waiting for the inevitable moment when the truth shines through. And when it does, she's already moved on, ready to embrace the next challenge, because life's too short for pointless squabbles. Number 3. Her intelligence shows in adaptability, not ego. A Sigma female doesn't need to parade around, showing off how smart she is. You won't catch her in a game of who's the smartest in the room, because, let's be honest, she probably already knows she is, and she's too smart to bother proving it. Her real strength? Adaptability. She's not interested in the spotlight. She's more interested in the situation. If she needs to lead, she'll lead. If the moment calls for stepping back, she'll do it without a second thought. It's not about ego, it's about understanding the best move for the situation. Think of her like water. flexible, shape-shifting, and able to adjust to any environment without breaking a sweat. She could be thrown into a meeting where everyone's egos are battling it out, and instead of engaging in the chaos, she'll calmly assess, find the weak spots, and navigate her way through with ease. Need her to problem solve on the fly? Done. Need her to let someone else take the reins? No problem. Her intelligence isn't about control, it's about strategy. Her flexibility is her secret weapon, while others are rigid, sticking to their roles or insisting on being right. She's already adapted, staying 2 steps ahead because she's focused on what works, not what looks good. And if that means blending in when needed, she'll do it without missing a beat. The smartest thing about her is knowing when to show her cards and when to keep them hidden. Thank you, Rare Gems, for being a valued subscriber. Your continued support is incredibly important to us and inspires us to keep producing meaningful content. We truly appreciate your engagement and dedication. Number 4. She uses reverse psychology on herself. When a Sigma female hits a wall of procrastination or internal resistance, she doesn't sit there trying to force herself into action with sheer willpower. No, that's too basic. Instead, she plays mind games with herself, reverse psychology to be exact. Rather than battling her own mind head-on, she tricks it into doing what needs to be done, almost like sneaking vegetables into a meal without tasting them. She's not going to argue with her brain about doing the task. She'll simply convince herself it's not that urgent. Then suddenly her mind feels the need to get it done, just to prove her wrong. It's like a mental chess game, and she's always a few moves ahead. When she feels herself procrastinating, she doesn't beat herself up or force productivity. Instead, she tells herself, "It's fine, you don't have to do it right now." And then, before she knows it, she's diving into the task, motivated by a weird sense of rebellion against her own relaxed attitude. It's the ultimate mental judo move, using her own brain's resistance to fuel productivity without the emotional baggage. This level of self-awareness and psychological trickery is next level. While others are trying to power through with grit and stress, she's outsmarting her own instincts, gliding through her tasks without breaking a sweat. It's not about pushing herself harder, it's about outsmarting herself quietly, and that's intelligence on a whole new playing field. Number 5. She uses humor as a cognitive test. A Sigma female's humor isn't just for laughs. It's a clever way of gauging the intellectual landscape around her. Her jokes aren't the kind that hit you over the head. They're subtle, often layered with meaning, and designed to test whether you're paying attention or just coasting through the conversation. It's like her version of a cognitive test. If you get her humor, you're speaking the same mental language. If you don't, well, it's not that she's going to call you out on it. She'll just quietly note that you're on a different frequency. She's not trying to be superior, but let's be real. Her brain works fast, and she's curious to see if yours can keep up. Her humor is often wrapped in irony or hidden in dry wit, where the punchline isn't handed to you on a silver platter. You have to work for it, but if you get it, you've passed her little test. If not, she'll smile politely and move on, having already sized up the situation without you even realizing it. It's not about making others feel less intelligent. It's more about figuring out who can dance with her on the same intellectual level. She's not interested in dumbing things down. So, if you laugh at the right moments, consider it a silent nod of respect from her. If you don't, well, the joke might have gone over your head, but she's already moved on to the next. Number 6. She creates psychological safe spaces for outsiders. A Sigma female's intelligence goes beyond book smarts or quick problem solving. It's rooted in something much deeper, emotional and psychological awareness. She has this uncanny ability to create a mental and emotional space where outsiders, misfits, and the ones who don't quite fit in feel seen and understood without judgment. She doesn't just tolerate differences, she genuinely embraces them. It's like she knows that the people who are often overlooked by society usually have the most interesting stories, unique insights, and untapped knowledge. While most people are too busy chasing approval from the in-crowd, she's drawing wisdom from the margins. She creates these safe, judgment-free zones where people can let their guard down, which is when they tend to reveal the most about themselves. And while they're talking, she's listening, really listening. Her emotional intelligence allows her to pick up on things most others miss, whether it's subtle shifts in tone, hidden pain behind someone's words, or unspoken thoughts left hanging in the air. By creating these psychological safe spaces, she gains access to perspectives and experiences that others ignore. It's not manipulation. It's genuine curiosity and understanding. She values what people have to say, especially those who've been overlooked, because she knows that's where the real gold often lies. And through this, she builds deeper connections and gathers knowledge from places most people wouldn't even think to look. Number 7, she knows when to be invisible. A Sigma female possesses a unique kind of intelligence that goes beyond simply being smart. It's about knowing when to be invisible. While many chase the spotlight, she understands that standing out isn't always the best strategy. There's power in blending into the background, and she knows exactly when to pull back and let others take center stage. When she chooses to fade into the background, it's not because she lacks confidence or presence. It's a deliberate decision, allowing her to observe the dynamics at play, gather valuable insights, and formulate her next moves without drawing unnecessary attention. In social settings, she can seem almost ghost-like, quietly absorbing information, reading the room, and picking up on subtleties that others might overlook. This skill isn't about shying away from life, it's about playing the long game. By stepping back, she gains a clearer perspective and can strategize effectively without the noise of ego or competition clouding her judgment. In situations where emotions run high or opinions clash, she can remain calm and collected, choosing her moments wisely to speak up or act. Her ability to know when to be invisible is a testament to her confidence and self-awareness. She doesn't feel the need to always assert her presence to be acknowledged. She knows that sometimes the best way to influence a situation is to observe and learn from the shadows. In the end, her quiet presence often leaves a more profound impact than any loud proclamation ever could. Who she is, she's... Number 8. She learns from everyone, even fools. A Sigma female sees the world as her personal classroom, and she's learned to be a masterful student. While many might look down on those they consider less intelligent, she knows that wisdom can come from the most unexpected places. In her eyes, everyone has something to teach, even if it's just a lesson in what not to do. Take, for example, the loudmouth at the party who can't stop bragging about their incredible life choices. Instead of rolling her eyes and tuning out, she pays attention, taking mental notes on what not to emulate. It's like getting a free guidebook on how to avoid pitfalls. She's learning in real time, sharpening her mind while others waste their breath. She understands that every interaction is an opportunity for growth, and it doesn't matter whether someone is a genius or a self-proclaimed expert on potato chips. There's value in their perspective, and she knows how to extract it. Whether it's observing the misguided confidence of a fool or the quiet wisdom of a seemingly average person, she approaches each encounter with curiosity. This mindset keeps her adaptable and informed, allowing her to build a well-rounded view of the world. So while others dismiss those they deem fools, she's busy taking notes. In her eyes, intelligence is about recognizing that everyone has something to contribute, no matter how unconventional the lesson might be. After all, sometimes the most insightful truths come from the most unlikely sources. Number 9. Her patience is calculated, not passive. When a Sigma female seems to be waiting or holding back, don't mistake it for passivity. Her patience is anything but that. It's a calculated strategic move, not a sign that she's unsure or hesitant. While others might rush into action trying to force results or bend circumstances to their will, she understands that sometimes the smartest thing you can do is wait. She doesn't jump at every opportunity or rush every process because she knows that timing is everything. Her patience isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing something quietly behind the scenes. While the rest of the world might think she's standing still, she's observing, analyzing, and letting events play out, knowing full well that jumping in too soon could actually slow things down or backfire. She's mastered the art of waiting for the perfect moment to strike, making her every move more efficient and impactful. She manipulates time in her favor by understanding that not everything needs to be forced. Sometimes the smartest move is to let things breathe, unfold naturally, and step in only when the situation is ripe for action. This kind of patience isn't just a virtue, it's an intellectual strategy that shows she's always thinking long-term, always calculating how to get the most out of every moment. It's less about being patient and more about playing the long game and winning. Number 10. She uses reverse psychology on herself. When a Sigma female hits a wall of procrastination or internal resistance, she doesn't sit there trying to force herself into action with sheer willpower. No, that's too basic. Instead, she plays mind games with herself. Reverse psychology, to be exact. Rather than battling her own mind head-on, she tricks it into doing what needs to be done, almost like sneaking vegetables into a meal without tasting them. She's not going to argue with her brain about doing the task. She'll simply convince herself it's not that urgent. Then suddenly, her mind feels the need to get it done, just to prove her wrong. It's like a mental chess game, and she's always a few moves ahead. When she feels herself procrastinating, she doesn't beat herself up or force productivity. Instead, she tells herself, "It's fine. You don't have to do it right now." And then, before she knows it, she's diving into the task, motivated by a weird sense of rebellion against her own relaxed attitude. It's the ultimate mental judo move, using her own brain's resistance to fuel productivity without the emotional baggage. This level of self-awareness and psychological trickery is next level. While others are trying to power through with grit and stress, she's outsmarting her own instincts, gliding through her tasks without breaking a sweat. It's not about pushing herself harder, it's about outsmarting herself quietly, and that's intelligence on a whole new playing field. In conclusion, the signs of a Sigma female's intelligence are as subtle as they are profound. While she might not be the loudest voice in the room, she's definitely one of the smartest. Her ability to adapt, learn from everyone, including those who might not be winning any IQ contests, and strategically choose when to assert herself, showcases a depth of understanding that often goes unnoticed. You won't catch her throwing around facts just to impress. Instead, she's the one quietly observing, collecting nuggets of wisdom from every encounter, no matter how trivial. And let's be real. While others may be busy arguing and proving their points, she's out here letting time do the talking, like a well-timed punchline in a comedy routine. Her patience isn't just a virtue, it's a superpower, allowing her to navigate life's complexities with finesse and grace. So the next time you find yourself underestimating her, remember, she's probably already 10 steps ahead of you, waiting for the perfect moment to make her move. In a world that often equates noise with intelligence, she reminds us that sometimes silence speaks volumes. And who knows, you might just find that the quietest person in the room has the loudest impact. So let's give a nod to the Sigma female, an unassuming genius whose intelligence is hidden in plain sight, just waiting for the right moment to shine. Thank you, rare gems, for tuning in. Stay vigilant as always. See you in our next video. God bless you.